Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for putting up with that. If anybody needs to refresh the stream, yeah, go ahead. So yeah, no, that gave me a bit of a heart attack there, but any small technical issues have been sorted out, and we should be back in normal widescreen now, not ultra widescreen. So yeah, apologies to everybody. Oh wait, no, did that do anything, Herman?
I'm currently watching an ad break. Give me 7 more seconds.
Yeah.
Oh! And Quincy has a 5-place grid penalty for collision with ADS!
Oh, goodness me.
That's huge!
Goodness me, and Quincy has no front wing end plate either, so it was a genuine collision. I am just wondering, because we've only caught the aftermath of that. Herman, did you catch that?
No, I only saw the damaged wing, and then I switched to see if anything in terms of car was next to him, but no, I didn't see. So there was no ADS inside when I switched to Quincy.
Okay, as ADS now goes wide into the gravel through the Rivage. That's not the line, but I think that might be influenced by some damage there as Truckster now fastest with a 157.8 there, but Quincy now with a 5-place grid penalty, and that is the first real upset we've had tonight, as then Race Chase goes faster with a 159.520, well, faster in terms of second place faster, not overall fastest. And let's see who's next across the line. It's going to be one of the Mercs. That's of Rowley, but that is an invalidated lap, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be one of the RBs, but then there's only Energetic here.
No, I think it's Kwon and Devsy, I think, are fighting for position. Oh, that's Bards. And he is out of the way, so Bards is going to be taking the line next. Yeah, so for the stream, everything is fine again, back to normal specs, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to mention about who is probably in the fight, I think it's Quincy's to lose. He made it... Oh, and Bards goes to the top.
Wow.
By 6/10. That is fast. Quincy made it easy for himself because he just rescheduled everything around him, obviously being the owner and doing most of the work, for his break. So there's no race, or there will be 2 races off when he is away. So yeah, Snake doesn't have that luxury, but he's still in that fight. Quincy has stated multiple times not his favorite track. Currently rainy condition, he is going 5 places back, doesn't mean anything, especially with only 17 runners. And there's quite a gap inside the midfield to the top runners to actually be a concern. If it's not fully wet, then that might be more of a danger, but let's see. I think, surprisingly, I think we could see Truckster win as well. Race Chase must be in this, especially for tonight. Has to kind of justify maybe that DNF that happened to him. I think Energetic needs to do a step up, who's way above the pace of the midfield and hasn't really shown that so far, so podium is in need. And T-Burn, after that astonishing 3rd place last time out when he was my reserve teammate, I think he's in for something. Looked good yesterday as well. We had a slight contact and then he unfortunately retired, but that's like my championship picture. McLaren versus Mercedes is definitely going to be the Constructors' World Championship. And one upset that is already taking place, because I think Bart's debut last time out in Saudi Arabia was very great, and he's now so far ahead right now. That's great.
So actually, believe it or not, I was just looking at the standings and whatnot just before the stream started, as us commentators do. Bart is actually Falcor Warrior. He is not new here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, I didn't either, but then until I checked everything, I was like, hang on a minute, I think that's Falcor Warrior. But yeah, so yeah, no, Bard's not actually a new face here. That's just Falcor Warrior, as far as I can see. Unless if I have that wrong.
But I'm just gonna take time and recheck.
Sure, go for it. But anyway, Bard's fastest as of right now. ADS actually still started another flying lap, and he's gone through the bus stop chicane now. He's going to set a 2 minutes, well, not dead, but 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 0.638. Got there eventually. As then to Bran across the line there, 2nd place for the Mercedes driver. Of course, they're in a fight with McLaren, as stated already. And Quincy, due to that damage earlier on, is currently on his outlap. So after repairs in the pits, he's got about just under 9 minutes to get another lap done. And I'm just going to check around, see who at the back needs to still complete a lap. Devsy still needs to put in a representative, as does Sir Ibo here. But Sir Ibo not proving any pace in the wet. Now,
And damage to the wing.
Oh, yeah, that won't help either. And just to give you a bit of information as well, Sir Ibo last week, as Truckster goes fastest there. So there we go. That's a nice one. 1.2 seconds ahead of the leader. But with this track in this wet iteration, you know, times can come from absolutely anywhere, and especially if it's drying out. But that's not happening with how the rain is coming out. So I think drivers are just trying to find their optimal lines and then just try and go faster from there. But Truckster with an impressive time, 1:56.015, and he's fastest as of right now. Race Chase also did another improvement as well, so time's coming down, Herman.
Yeah, I've checked, and I'm pretty sure that's certainly a different driver, because there's no name change to Falco Warriors Discord account, so either he's in with a secondary one or something is really missing, but can't really 100% confirm that that's not the same person. So
Okay, well, we'll just wait for confirmation on that, but I have had yeah, no worries. No, I thought I had some sort of notification, but I didn't. It's Bard's there. Oh, quicker by nearly half a second again. So time's coming down here in Spa, and now a lot of drivers are going to start getting the hurry up. Now, Bruiser is also on a flyer, no times at all. The bottom three with no times. Where is Quincy at the moment? Down the Camel straight. So he's very far away. Let's stick with Bruiser for the time being. In the Red Bull, he's down the straights, which separates Stavelo 2 from Blanchimont. Then it's going to be a few moments' time. The bus stop chicane. I don't think you could really go flat out here in the rain, but then again, I could be wrong as Bruiser now approaches the final couple of corners. He's going to have the start-finish straight to go. It's not going to be the fastest time on the board by any means, as goodness me, as a moment on the exit, and that is going to be a 2:02.913. And there we go, Herman even putting in the Discord there, but we'll try and see.
I'm just let's see who's that. But I would, like, in terms of pace, that would really surprise me, because that would be a huge step up for Falco Warrior. Like, he was kind of where Devsy was, and he just started to find pace and was like feeling more comfortable with things. So yeah, that would be quite a significant improvement, as Quincy hits the gravel at the exit of Stavelo onto the final sector of this Grand Prix circuit. There's a lot of batteries still left and has reduced it to 0, so that might be another time coming up with like roughly 6 minutes to go, as Rowley goes to second as a reserve here in for Mercedes tonight. And let's see what Quincy can do for his first official time. We'll put him on the board, and that's 7th, which is, considering his grid drop, not too bad, but there will be certainly a faster lap coming up soon, I imagine. Next is Kwan, and he has the Ferrari behind him. Let's see, Williams currently 3rd and 11th, and that's 7th now for Kwan. Very nice, 56 as well, just to cut off between him and Quincy there. Next is T-Brand, currently 6 above Kwan. Oh, that's a nice slide into the bus shop chicane, but he heads for the pit lane. Next is ADS, also into the pit lane. And then we have Sveda, but that is an invalidation.
And then the next up is the Kicksauber of Skid Solo, currently going through Blanchimont now. Not long left now in the session. I do think there's only a few minutes, but we'll have to wait and see once that caution sector 2 does clear up. Yes, only nearly 4.5 minutes to go, as Skid Solo having a bit of a moment through the bus stop chicane, as ADS has had a disconnect issue. That's Skid Solo, though, up into 12th place. So Eugene, the only driver not to set a time right now, he is just on that section of track the Kicksauber was going through a few moments ago. We go on board with the Aston Martin flat through Blanchimont still, but a bit wider. So drivers being cautious as they now as he now approaches the bus stop. And here we go. It's start finish straight. Needs to get on the power as soon as possible, but needs to also be careful. Easy to lose the rear in the wet. That's 18th place for the Aston Martin, and Quincy, as Herman said already, needing to find time, and he's 7.5 tenths up in sector 2, Herman.
Yeah, he needs to be flying right now, and that his battery usage is now more to what you would accommodate with a flying hot lap. So let's see, 2 more turns to go. Find a braking zone on this track. Use higher gear for better traction, not really for turn in, so the car doesn't step out, and he's over the line for 3rd, also on a 55.8, but just 0.02 of a second slower than Rowley. And that is certainly a good position to be starting, especially when he's going down by 5 places. Let's see who else can maybe break into the 55. I think Race Chase Truckstar very close to it. They can do it. I think Energetic can find time, especially if he maybe ran with more fuel before. He's currently approaching Bruxelles, and he's going at a medium pace. Not sure if that's maybe a second outlet, because yeah, there's a bit of ES usage now. So let's see if he's trying to reel these tires in. Usually if you continue to put laps with tires in, then you find more pace, and especially if you also put more fuel, you can easily achieve better lap times, even with like 6 laps on them. And I think he's kind of doing that with his first one. Is a bit moderate in terms of pushing, also ES usage. So he's probably gonna be right in the nick of time as soon as the timer runs down to 0.
There we go, timer at 0 now. So, well, no, it's not. It's still a couple of minutes left. Bloody hell, I'm starting to see things, I swear. But anyway, Race Chase coming through the bus stop chicane now. He's on a very quick lap. We've been on board with him throughout his flyer. That's a 1:54.290 from Race Chaser. There we go. Everybody under pressure now. What can Rolly do? Invalidated. Energetic to the line. 1:55.587. So, as Herman predicted, he can improve. He does improve. But where's Quincy? He's down by 11 seconds, so I'm not quite sure what happened to him. But now Truckster now starts, I think, another flyer here. He is zooming through Eau Rouge and Radion. And at the moment, to Brown also started one, but nobody, Race Chase there, a bit of a surprise, improving upon there, and he is in pole position. And if things stay as they are, can he perhaps make that from pole into a win when we get into the race? We don't know the weather conditions as of right now. But Herman, do we have any update on your end from the conditions for the race?
Yeah, no, I don't know anything, but really I don't want to know. I really enjoy it when it's more chaotic than this, because you really see only sometimes strategy play out when rain is only forecasted for the drivers and not for the commentators. Energetic's lap is currently looking very good, 4/10 up after that first sector split time at the end of the Chemist Straight, and he's now navigating that very tricky and downforce heavy second part of the track as he's approaching Stavelo Corner and is about to hit the second detection line, and he's up by half a second still. So we are currently approaching 55.0 for him, so that's still 8/10 roughly away from our current pole position holder of Race Chase, as 20 seconds are left on the clock. If you are on an outlap like Juan, you should get to the line now, as the dying minutes are coming in, and that is a bit late on the brakes for Energetic. Let's see what or if it costs any in terms of lap time. Truckster to second, Energetic to third, and now that is the checkered flag out, as we have Rolly in the back. No, there was T-Brand, and he is over the line to P4, and that is his final opportunity done. Next is the house of Sveda. That was Iman, but he wasn't able to set another time. And we have Rolly to fourth, as there's also no Sibo over the line for his final attempt. And we have Quincy in the background as well to fourth, also 0.5, very nicely done. Bars is next. No, that was Devsy over the line, stays in 17th. Then it's Sveda for 7th. And let's see who else is there for the rest of the session, Dave.
Kovachka is invalidated, so he won't be able to complete his lap, but it is Bard's next. Now, he messed up La Source, but he's got 1/10 up, and when he was down the Camel straight through to Radion. Now, here we go. We are now going to go through Sector 2 with Bards, one of our shocks for the evening, a second up in Sector 2. Now for Sector 3, he is going to go down the straight, which separates Stavlo 2 from Blanchimont. Race Chase is also on a flyer, as is Eugene. Eugene will be next across the line, followed by Race Chase. Will follow it from there, but Trugster up to second as well. Great qualifying from the Williams driver, but at the moment we're focusing on the Ferrari driver of Bards. He goes to the line now, and what's it going to be? This is going to be, it's pole position. It's a 154.0, but Race Chase is improving as well. He's found 300s in Sector 2, but it was about 3/10 in Sector 1. Race Chase is still on for this. It's not over yet until we're out of the bus stop chicane and onto the start-finish straight. Has Race Chase done enough? No! It's 154.1. Trugster's not improving. Energetic is slow. And that is pole position for Bards. And that is one hell of a time. Race Chase did improve at the end, but it wasn't enough. In the end, has to settle for being 1/10 and 400ths off the pole position time. But still, what a wet qualifying that was. Bards there providing an upset, and Quincy, remember, serving a 5-place grid penalty for a severe collision with ADS, who, just so you know, the victim down in 15th position.
Great lap by Bards, and Race Chase just, I think, used the ERS way up too early. I think he was maybe pushing, trying to compensate what happened in Puan. I was watching his lap, and he was maybe overdoing it, just like Lando did in wet to drying conditions. So, yeah, he's maybe gutted about this, but as we have seen in the real-life Grand Prix just 2 days ago, pole position isn't actually the best thing to start on. So, there might be an early redemption for Race Chase, as we've now concluded the qualifying session finally, as also Energetic's final lap was invalidated. So yeah, we have certainly one race on our hands.
Absolutely. Now we have the official qualifying results. It's Bards in pole position, beg your pardon. Then Race Chase second, Trugster third, Energetic fourth, Quincy fifth, but will lose out. So remember, 5 places for him. He's down to 10th. So it's Rolly fifth, Eugene sixth, Tabran seventh, Sveda in 8th, and then No Sebo 9th, with obviously Quincy round then out. Then from 11th to 15th is Kwan, Kovachka, Skid Solo, Skirt, Ibo, and ADS. And then from 16th to 18th is Bruiser, Devsy, and Emin Asian Boy, who joined late. So now it's gone from 17 to 18 drivers this evening.
No Emin needed for that. Very lovely day. Also, what is very lovely, I think our race prediction, as we have a dry track ahead of us. Why don't you start?
Okay, then.
Your, 5 picks, please.
5 picks. So 5 for the top 5. Let's see. In the spirit of the championship, I'm going to say that Race Chase takes the win, followed by... No, I changed my mind. It's going to be Trugster with the win, Race Chase second. Third place, I think, is going to be Quincy. He's going to have a bit of pace there, so it's going to be a McLaren 1-3 for me. And then it's going to be Energetic for fourth. And then 5th place, ooh. I am going to say Kwan.
Okay, I went Race Chase win, Truckster, Quincy also third, Bart's fourth, and T-Burn fifth, because he had a really strong race. Let's hope he has a better one than last night.
As do we all, but of course we'll have a formation lap and then 22 laps of racing, and it is a bright sunny day for the race. So unlike the guys who would have set up for the ret, they will sadly now have to put up with the fact that they are going to be in drier conditions, and that will mean their setup might be unoptimal. Let's see what happens, but of course we have 4 minutes to go. Of course, a bit of history for you. Track with 19 turns at one of the longest, 7 kilometers, equaling about 4.3 miles. The latest lap record held round here is a 1:44.701 by Sergio Perez in the RB20 from 2024. Of course, originally opened in 1921 and has seen 8 changes along its 103 years of existence, or 104 now, if you're considering, because that note was made in 2024. Initially shared the Grand Prix with Zolder, and another Belgian circuit I can't actually remember the name of. And then it wasn't until 1985 when Spa was made the permanent helm of the Belgian GP. The only times where it wasn't held was in 2003 due to the country's advertising laws against tobacco, and then in 2006 due to circuit refurbishments. And then just to kind of let you all know as well, it is going to be an 8:02 start for the race, and that will be there. But if you couldn't believe this, Herman, did you know that the original track was actually 14 kilometers long, and that equaled about 8.7 miles?
Yeah, I was about to actually bring this fun fact to you because that is the only thing I remember from the original track, and I think even Assetto Corsa has a mod with that in. So someone I've known has raced there a couple of years ago, and I was very long, and I couldn't imagine that anyone would have loved to see cars like 3 times in a whole race. So I'm glad they reduced it to 7, which is by today's standards still above the average of I think 5.6 or something is I think the average track length I would assume. So most of the European circuits have like this kind of length anyway. So yeah, that is a very historic track, and I think the best improvement they made is the bus stop chicane for me in the 2006 refurbishment you just mentioned, because that was kind of atrocious and looked like you were going into a back alley and buy something that is very illegal. So thank God they changed it.
Just got a fun fact here in chat from Temtem. They have let me know that it was actually originally a bus stop for the for the pedestrians here at the circuit. So when this was still public roads, but of course, yeah, the circuit I think actually uses. I think it's down up through Eau Rouge to Radion. Eau Rouge, Radion, then Kemmel. That's all public road, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like the country's economics at that time when it was a bus stop was also like around mining and stuff, I think in the Ardennes. So yeah, I think you're right with that the first part of the track and the first sector has public roads. And yeah, one of the things you can also notice when watching on TV 2 days ago, that this is the only track where we don't usually do a cooldown lap after the race. For the sprint they did it. For the full race, they didn't. So, yeah, you always go back into the pit lane and right through it again. So, that's like your only reversed grid kind of reverse race kind of thing we had before, jumping into this year's game at least, because there are no real reverse races so far in real life. So, yeah, honestly, one of the more infamous racetracks, you have to say.
Absolutely. And you can actually still play. I think one of the first times you could play the original Spa-Francorchamps was back on a sim racing video game from the mid-1990s. It was called Grand Prix Legends. I actually have that installed on this PC. I haven't played it because I really don't know how to set up the direct drive with it. But it is something you can do, and actually a hell of a lot easier than it was all the way back then. In fact, my dad actually played that with me, so a bit of history there. I actually do know a bit of the layout of that Spa-Francorchamps track, and yes, it's a very, very long track. That's all I'm going to say about that. But, yes.
When playthrough?
I'll have to think about I know that you can do an online championship. I know that there is a small community for Grand Prix Legends that still do an online championship. So, I'll keep it in mind. I'll keep it in mind. I might just go all out for you. You never know. As long as you tune in, yeah, I'll go for all out for you, Herman. Anything for you.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Especially with modern wheels instead of like the old controllers they had back then. I think we're imminent formation laps, so let's turn our attention to what is in front of us for the next 22 laps. And I think we're going to see very interesting strategy calls, especially from Quincy, who I assume will be opting for something different since race chase hard tires are still in the pit lane.
All right, then, let's see what happens. So, we are going to get the formation lap music up and running. So, let's go. Here we are. Your 18 drivers line up in this order. It is Bards taking his first pole position on medium tyres here. And it is Race Chase, who had pole for the longest time in qualifying, but lost it at the death there. He is second. And then Trugster in third place, looking for his third podium of the season. Fourth is Energetic with Rowley in fifth. Eugene in 6th place. It is Tabran in 7th, followed by Sveta in 8th, Snow Sebo 9th, and rounding out your top 10, Quincy, after a severe collision with ADS, got a 5-place grid penalty into the race, so that's why he's down there. 11th is, I think related to Quincy, I think it's his cousin Quan, but don't quote me on that one. Then it's 12th place Kovachka with Skid Solo in 13th, Cerebro 14th. The first of the 2 hard runner tyres, then ADS in 15th, who of course Quincy had a collision with. Can ADS get up the field a little bit from 15th? Bruiser in 16th, then it's DevZ, the other hard tyre runner, down in 17th, and then with lag for days, or trying to visit his alien overlords, it's up to you which one you want. It's Evans, Asian Boy, him rounding out your 18 drivers for this Belgian Grand Prix here in SSRL Division 2. It's round 5. We're halfway through the season. Quincy looking to get one hand on that championship. Now would be a right step. Tonight would be a good step in the right direction, but he's got work to do. He's got 9 places to make up. Both of us predict him in 3rd place, but of course, as we know, lap 1, turn 3, and that is Ranion can provide an upset and bring out a safety car early on. And of course, Herman, you were, I think, one of the few that pitted on that first lap in last night in Division 1 when that safety car came out.
Yeah, and the tires were good for like 14 laps for a decent pace. After that, you should have pitted, but yeah, I went over the point of no return, so I hope people don't do that from yesterday, so they might have an idea of what kind of strategy they want to run. I'm surprised Quincy didn't opt for a hard tire at the start to go maybe longer, but maybe he's also feeling that early safety car as we are approaching the end of the formation lap. Well, there's a bit of a car or a bit of a group at the end there that are now making it to the line.
Yeah, so the 2 Kicksalbers holding up the field there. Of course, it's both No Sebo and Quincy disqualified, so their tyres will be stone cold at the start, as Sergeant DevZ also disqualified. Then Quincy's undisqualified. Okay, well, we'll see how that works out. Anyway, countdown begins. We have 3, 4, 5 red lights. It's going Spa, not long at all, and I think Race Chase was caught out there because Barnes is off to an excellent start. Disqualified for reversing off the start line is Emanation Boy. That was not very long at all. Rolly already up to 4th, but contact between the Mercedes and the McLaren of Race Chase. Rolly up into 3rd despite that, but lots of confusion near the middle of the field. A lot of 2 wide going into Eau Rouge, but they all sort themselves out and they continue on. But Quincy already up to 7th place here and has a run on the Haas of Sveta in front. He's trying to get that slipstream. He's going left and right. I think he's going around the outside, but there's a Mercedes in front. But he still gets the move done. But then there's the RB fighting with the McLaren there. So that must have been Race Chase I was looking at, as now ADS is up to 12th from 15th. Biggest losers there was the Kicksauber and the Williams of Quan and Cerebro in that Kicksauber. But now it's still Bard's in the lead, but Chugster applying the pressure as we go through P1, Herman.
Yeah, there was almost a collision with ADS again from Quincy. He got a slide tap at the back into La Source, and then there was all sorts of kerfuffle at the exit where he just could gain huge amounts of momentum, and he's already up by a couple of places, so he's going to be putting pressure onto that Haas driver that has now filled that spot from departing Ryan Brooks, and he is onto something already, and I kind of feel the frustration he had from qualifying. Let's see if he can keep his cool and make sure he's going to finish inside the top position. Has only not finished in the top position in Australia, and he locks it up completely just like Hammond did in sprint qualifying, and there's a contact by the Haas driver as he loses the back end, but Quincy is fine, scrapes through and even gains the position, as also Energetic takes to 7th now. What a weird moment that was stop chicane at the end of lap 1.
Absolutely, Herman losing his mind, as do I whenever something like that happens. So exciting action there. Quincy now up to 6th place from 10th, but needs DRS from his teammate. Can his teammate drop back and help out? But we're currently looking at the leaders here. We're looking at Chugs to try and gain, but not enough when going through to Lacombe. And now there's even a battle for what is 14th place. Quan just made his way past Ferrari, as did Bruiser. but then Quan is overtaken. Oh no! Big crash! Big crash! Bruiser goes into, no, Quan goes into the back of Bruiser, and both end plates are gone from Quan's car, but Bruiser has been forced into the barrier, loses his front left end plate for good measure. Quan there with a questionable braking point, and has now caused damage both for himself and the Red Bull. And the Red Bull very wide into the wall at Speakers or Jackie Hits corner. And now both the Red Bull and the Williams have lost both their end plates. Drama at the back of the field with Quan and Bruiser as we are on lap 2 out of 22.
That looked very odd, I have to say. Looked like he was not expecting him to move into that space. That was very much his for the entry of what is turn 5, because that's the right hand side turn, and Bruiser was clearly in the middle of the road that would have turned into the right hand side, and Quan on the left hand. So that was very odd from Quan. Has some explaining to do, as Ibonol takes Devsy in Blanchimont on the inside, then hits the inside boards, and now side by side with the very another contact. Sabo goes into the side of Devsy, and now he's round, and both over the contact again. Oh my god, Sabo's round as well, and Devsy just continues on as Quan with a stricken front wing is also about to pass him. What is going on at the back end of the field, Dave?
I don't know, and now we've got a battle for second place. Truckster is much closer to Bart's this lap around. We're through Lecom. There's race chase on the outside of Tabran. There looked to be no room there, but respectfully done. But another weird crash as Sir Ibo is finally underway again. Bruiser into the pit lane, but Quan continues on with the double air with the no end plate front wing there, which is not really optimal. You really should come in there. I think the FIA would give you an orange and black flag for that, for severe damage and needing repairs. So I don't think he should really continue out on that one. Yeah, so Bruiser, as well, we've had a bit of opinion in chat, and guess what? That was one of the dumbest crashes I've ever seen, says our chatter there. Well, that's certainly one way to put it. But continuing on, Truckster here is currently trying to just put that Ferrari under pressure. Devsy is the first driver to fall for a 3-second track limits penalty also. But yeah, back in the field, certainly providing some questionable driving standards here in Division 2. And well, we're only 3 laps into the race, and well, we've got a 7-car battle for 1 position, and Quincy, recovering from 10th place, is right in the mix. But this is currently going to be, I imagine, an entertaining Grand Prix with the 19 laps now to come, Herman.
Yeah, there was also a slight mistake by ADS exiting Stavolo, so he has lost a pack more, as he was kind of close to Nocebos on the DS on there of the Red Bull, but now he's dropped by 2.2 seconds and is now further away from the rest of the field, as now the top, what is now P127, make their way onto the chemistry. Truckster is close to the Ferrari head, but is not really fancying his chances right now, as Euchel takes to Sveda, and also Kovachka goes by, so that's 2 positions lost to the Haas driver, and he's now into 10th position as this group. The second DS train has 3.2 seconds worth of a gap. Truckster is really pushing it here in the middle sector, 20%. He has charged over his nearest competitor, but he's probably going to be suffering a lot of downforce loss, as there's a wide moment for Bartz. Is there an opportunity for Truckster into Piff Puff? There is none, but he is certainly putting the young gunner under pressure. Has only just made it into our league last race in Saudi Arabia, finished a strong P8, and now is leading the race for the first 4 laps here. And Truckster is certainly going to be looking for an opportunity here, as you don't want to stay in the turbulent wake of the car ad for too long, because that is going to hurt your tires.
Absolutely, and also the turbulent wake is more defined here in this year's Formula 1 game, so you really don't want to be there. And look at this, a wide moment from Bards through the bus stop chicane. Truckster has the over-under sorted out. He's going to have DRS as we go to the source, but remember, Bards will then if Truckster makes this overtake work, we'll also have a run as we now see Eugene and Kavajka going side by side. Bit of a look up at the front there of your frame as we're 3 wide down to the source here. This is the battle for what is 9th place here, and they're going to go side by side. It's hard to know which battle to look at because a lot of things happening at once. Brief yellow flag, by the way, in Sector 2, but it's all short-lived. And now we're going to just have a brief look because now Truckster is the closest. He's only a couple of tenths. He's down the inside on the camel, but there's Rolly as well. But look at that. Bards fights back on the brakes into Lacombe. They're still side by side as they go to the exit, but Truckster has the momentum and Geeks it work, but then Bards is down the inside into Rivage, maybe? Truckster gives him the room, but it looks like he is ahead, and indeed, Truckster is your new leader of the Grand Prix on lap 5 out of 22. 18 laps to go, and more of this action to come your way in the close, well, throughout the Grand Prix.
Nosiba was in a fight with Sveda there in Tulecom as well, but then ran wide at the exit. Very tricky curb at the exit nowadays, and Sveda gets a 3-second time penalty for his troubles at the exit of Puan, the double apex left-hand side corner that is inside the second sector. So yeah, Nosiba was a bit onto that skating curb that is now more refined after Cody's has updated this track in last year's game and is way more to the realistic feel. And yeah, he was suffering that, could have maybe pounced on the opportunity there as Sveda was struggling to continue to stay in P8 as Kovachka is now leading that train. And yeah, let's see how they fare. And I think we're gonna probably be seeing pit stops soon for undercuts. I think Quincy has prime opportunity. Can overtake like 4 cars as T-Bran gets it a bit loosey-goosey on the exit. And Quincy is there to maybe pounce on that. No, that is not the case. But gets a way better exit and a run through La Source. Uses the last remaining parts of his ERS to get a nice accelerating run up the hill, and now is very close to T-Bran, who is not that close to the next car in front. Race Chase is close also to Rolly, so that's McLaren v Mercedes, the fight we're seeing in the Constructors World Championship. Also on track right now, and this fight is going to be continuing another lap because Quincy couldn't get by here.
Absolutely there. So Quincy he just didn't quite have the straight line speed on to Bran there. So I don't know if he was a bit down on battery there. So we'll just have to be careful of that. As you said, Herman, he was using the last of it when coming down into Eau Rouge and Radian. And so maybe just Quincy needs to watch his battery usage because Energetic is now not too far away from getting back into that DRS train from first to what is 6th place as of right now. And if Truckster can keep that gap as to now it's gone under a second, that becomes 1st through 7th. And that really does put a lot of pressure on. And Truckster looks like he's just got the better of Bards. As of right now, he had that gap at about 9/10 of a second at this moment on the last lap, but Bards could have been recharging ERS because now he's definitely looking like he's on the attack. Just to give you an update as well, one of the closer battles at the back is between Sveda and Nosebo, but that hasn't moved for a couple of laps now. Oh, goodness me! Rolly with a spin into the bus stop chicane, and that's given to Bran. 3rd place, Race Chase loses a position, and Quincy gains one at the very least, but it looks like Race Chase is struggling. He's lost the front wing end plate, and both Race Chase and Rolly are unhappy with each other. They both swerve as the indication of, hey, you did something I really don't like. And that means they've now lost, oh goodness me, 3.8 seconds to the top 2. So what was a 7-car battle is now a 2-car battle. And while you saw Energetic go into the pits there as well, Herman, any update on that as we see the McLarens going side by side? Maybe, or it's Tabran and Race Chase going side by side.
Energetic pitted for the hard. His undercut now came in the right time because he was about to be dropped out of the DRS zone. I noticed that when approaching Blanchimont, so he has a nice opportunity to actually benefit from what just happened. He needs to get by on this Sauber that is skid solely. He's not fighting that back. Way older tires, and obviously the pace difference is quite severe. So huge opportunity now for VCAP with Energetic here to make something work, as Rolly is now by again on T-Bran. It was severe damage on the right-hand side of his car, and I have to say, Quincy coming out 3rd is obviously the least thing you wanted from that as a Mercedes team. So Even though Rowley is reserve, he gets that points for the team, and that is obviously important as Snake, as we already discussed, is losing 3 attendances. So yeah, they need the points and they will get the points. I'm just looking at the gap to the leader, 21.3 seconds from Energetic. We have around 19 seconds worth of pit time. So if I calculate that correctly, everyone down from Quincy is in danger to losing their position as Bartz makes his way into the pit lane and Truckster continues on. Let's see how the rest reacts, and none of the McLarens have reacted, so that is interesting. Maybe converting to that one stop that was also winning yesterday's race, and yeah, we see there's obviously damage to be repaired for T-Brand as he's coming into the pits as well, and multiple cars have done so with Kovechka as well, and there's another 3-second time penalty for Devsy. This gonna be a long race still, and I'm interested to see how McLaren is now gonna manage that, because one of their cars is damaged and they can't pit at the same time, can they?
No, they cannot, or else they'll double stack, so they will have to leave it off. But I don't know if you caught it, Herman, but Race Chase with a 3-second track limits penalty for track limit violations. So this puts his, well, this puts a podium prediction for Race Chase into a bit of doubt, as now No Sebo has, I believe, made an overtake on Sergeant Devsy as well. I think that's after a pit stop. And ADS has gone very wide through Lecom and has got no front left wing end plate as well. I don't know if that's from an earlier collision, though. I can't say if the two are related, but it just looks like he went wide. As I think the corner is called Malmedy. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Yeah. Malmedy, thank you very much. But anyway, so yeah, Malmedy there. So onto the gravel, ADS lost the position to Energetic, and now that's one less thing to worry about. But now he's at 2.2 seconds behind your unofficial leader of the race. But we are still waiting for Truckster to also come in. Does he come in on lap 8 out of 22? As Emmons has been obviously disqualified already for reversing backwards at the start of the race. Don't know if that was a glitch, but no further update has come as of right now. But here we go, Truckster into the pit lane, and it looks like it's going to be for the hard tyre. He will have to go to the end on 40 lap old. So we now need to keep an eye. Quincy also into the pits, as is Eugene. And
watch Energetic. He's gonna get them. He's gonna get them. Big jumper, Energetic, 2-lap undercut, and he is by on Quincy, I think, at ease. Rounding into La Source now, a bit of a lock-up there, but that seems to be very well managed. And he's also onto the back of Truckster. Huge strategy call there made by VCup with only one car for tonight, and that is very strong. And he's now in the position to fight for the lead, because he's going to be undercutting them again later on if they don't pit again. And now Energetic onto the back straight. No DRS available for Truckster, as he's the car that was in front at the detection zone. And now we may have another fighter inside of the podium position that is now to second place if you disregard the people who haven't made a stop so far. So well played by Energetic. Has seen something from yesterday that makes him made him switch to this strategy with an early undercut, and he's now pushing away as Truckster is still trying to warm the tires. And in dirty air, you don't want to be in that situation. So very well done by Energetic to make this move as the opportunity arose.
Absolutely, and now we have, as you said, a new contender, and he's even actually putting a little bit of pressure on Bards in front here. 1.1 seconds, so Energetic looking like he could take the race win as of right now. We'll have to wait for the rest of the guys to pit, of course. That is Rolly, Sveda, and Race Chase. Not in that order, I promise you. That's Race Chase, Rolly, and Sveda, if you want the official order. But, of course, Race Chase and Sveda with 3-second penalties post-race. You cannot serve those in the pit lane, unfortunately for them. All 3 of them have come into the pit lane. But now, look at this. Bards has not really got those hard tyres up to code. And now there's Truckster even on the back of Energetic. And look at that, N145.816, so fastest lap of the race for the Racing Bulls driver. And there you are. There is first, second, and third in your frame. And now it is going to be a battle of the DRS down to Eau Rouge. They go now up to Radian. And who is going to be in front by the end of this straight? I don't think Truckster was quite the DRS range, as there's a yellow flag very briefly for the Kick Sauber. No overtake being made down the Camel straight, and Truckster very much an outsider to that battle as of right now, and it is currently as it was when we started. Lap 10 out of 22, and there's also even some more moves in the background as Feder gets past Eugene there, both sharing a 3-second track limits penalty, and Tabran needed to make up some pace there because he could find himself in the top 10 if he could get onto the back of this pack.
Yeah, just quick notice about Race Chase, just pitted down to 11, so he really needs a safety car because he's inside. Yeah, that phase where he now needs to kind of make up that lost time based on the damaged wing, and then obviously the now additional 5 seconds drop back because of the pit stop. So that is he has some work to do, but there's still a second stop coming up, so he's maybe in a position on pure pace to fight back into the top 5. But yeah, he has some work to do for sure.
And he just made up a position on ADS there, and of course ADS carrying a partially damaged front wing, so keep that in mind as well, as now Energetic is much closer to Bards this time around as they start lap 11. Halfway point of the Grand Prix has been reached. 0.7 of a second separating first and second. Oh, but a bit of a mistake from Energetic through La Source. And oh, he has a bit of a moment on the exit as well and loses that 1 second bubble. And now Truckster will be thinking, I could have a go at this. Currently in third place. Through we go. Up the hill to Radian. And is Energetic back in DRS range? No, he is not. He is using a lot of battery, though. But Truckster has that rear wing open, so he'll have a nice top speed advantage over the top 2, but not close enough to make anything work, as now we go into Lacombe, and ADS into the pit lane to replace his front wing, and Skid Solo through La Source is up to 12th as of right now. But Herman, it's been a race so far, hasn't it? What do you think has been the biggest surprise?
I think how Energetic just came back into the fight for the top 3, and also Quincy's doing kind of well, but McLaren slept on him in terms of the pit stop strategy so far. And very interesting is also that Kovačka and Nosibo opted for that second medium, as they're currently running 5th, 6th, and Rolly behind in 7th, who was also in a fight for the top 5 early on, but had to also replace or find something else and drop back. Late stop I'm seeing right now as I'm switching through, and there was there's an interesting call between the Red Bull and the Alpine pit stop strategy for tonight. So they're going to be jumping to that late hard tire a bit earlier than the rest of the field, I will assume. But they're in genuine good position and don't have time penalties so far. And they could be scoring huge for their teams. Let's see how it develops from here on out.
Yes, as we should. And as of right now, it's going to be DRS for the top 3. Truckster is much closer to Energetic. Energetic just doesn't seem to have the traction on exit, unlike Bards and Truckster do. So again, under pressure, but then as soon as they get down the Camel Straight, no one's close enough to have a go at one another. So could this be one very fast chess match between the 3 drivers? Yeah, no one close enough again, so Truckster needs a better run out of La Source in order to get alongside the Racing Bulls driver, but even then...
Rolly against Nosibo on the Camber Straight, and the Mercedes is by for what is now 6th position.
Indeed, and there we go, as Tabran has joined back up with us. I didn't realize Tabran had even left.
I was trying to fix that. He was thinking it was a restart on the lobby, but he was the only one who disconnected. So a bit of time lost for him because the AI isn't very high on this on our league setting. So and ADS has retired in the pit lane. That's our second retiree. So maybe there was more damage than just the wing. And he is giving positions now to Quan and Sir Ibo as well as later to Bruiser, who's very close to being actually lapped as well if he needs to do another extra pit stop, as Barca is now extended to 1.1 seconds, and Energetic is in need to close that down again. Very similar ERS level right now, and the VCAP has already done so, and now the DS detection point is approaching, and both the cars running behind the Ferrari will have DRS again on the main straight, but there might be another fight coming up soon because Rolly is very close to Kovačka. Is he gonna send it in on the inside into the bus stop chicane. Not for the moment, but there's Kovachka going deep, and around the outside goes Rowley. Nice move by the Turkish driver to jump back into 5th position.
Did you see him just flap the front rear wing at the camera there? That was a bit of an amusing thing. But at the moment now, we are going to see a battle for the lead again. Look at Energetic. He is closer yet again. But will it be close enough to have a go? Brief cautions in sectors 2 and 3. But what is a stricken Mercedes to Bran there? I think it's had a moment through the bus stop. But now, Energetic was getting really close, but no move made. As, oh, something's happened at the bus stop to one of the Red Bulls. That is Bruiser, who's had a moment there. No actual visible damage to the Red Bull driver, as now Race Chase has made a move round the outside of Eugene into Lecom, and then through Malmeldi has got that all said and done. So Race Chase gains yet another position, and Tabran is 24 seconds off and has got Skid Solo for company as they now go down the Camel Straight. The Kicksauber opening DRS for him round the inside of the Mercedes. Can Skid Solo get that done? No confidence on the brakes, and allows Tabran back through essentially. So Tabran should really be able to keep that position in reality. And so Ivo, next driver to pit here, and that is for his first pit stop. So it's just the Ferrari now of Sergeant Devsey yet to pit. But here we go. We're going to lap 14 out of 22. And Herman, what is the play here if you're one of the top 3? If you're Bards, Energetic, or Truckster, what are you kind of waiting for here? Because no one's made a move as of right now. It's been stalemate for a few laps. What's going on here?
I think pit stops, if they want to do another one, which I don't think at the moment they will, but not so sure. I don't know how their tires are looking, but I can see maybe a dash into the pit lane at the end of this lap for the quick end sprint to the finish on a medium. For Energetic especially, he opted to go in early, and that undercut worked beautiful for him. The biggest thing right now is the DRS advantage. They've gapped Quincy by a significant amount already because they're not really passing each other. They can follow. It's obviously hard inside of the second sector. We're just starting to see going down into Brussels. So really, what else than be patient is there to do? I don't think anything. If you want to go aggressive, then you can with another pit stop, and I think an overall pace you would also be benefiting from that. But the next biggest thing I would worry about is traffic, and that is currently very severe, as we have like a four-way fight from P6 downwards, and Race Chase is also in that. So you don't want to give out more points to the opponent. So I think for now they're just good to go to run, especially behind Bards. And Energetic has also managed tires a bit more than the rest. Both have one more lap on their tires respectively. So I don't think there's anything major apart from a safety car, virtual safety car, that can bring that in, because the gap is just about where I would say is the safe time for virtual safety car. Obviously including that they didn't just pass the pit lane, and Bards has a slight lockup into the final chicane bus stop, that is, but nothing Energetic can be using against him and make a pass here, as Race Chase looks impatient at the back of Sveda, and there's a pit stop for Kovachka, who needed to go in. Only mediums on his car so far, and that is a late call now for him to be jumping out of the way.
Indeed, for the Alpine jumps out the way, as Herman already said, but there's Truckster now under 0.3 of a second, but will Energetic get a pull on the straight? He indeed does, and now Energetic is the closest he's been down the inside of the cup. The Ferrari and RB make contact as we're on board with the RB, and they're going to go side by side through Malmeldi. They are still side by side. There's Truckster right there, waiting to bounce. He's down the inside. Oh my goodness, there's contact between the RB and the Williams, but guess who's still side by side? The RB and the Ferrari, but it all turns out in the end. But through Swinger's corner, and Truckster again looks to the inside, now the outside through Pouon, surely not. Goodness me, brave stuff from all three drivers here, putting on a show, and this could allow Quincy in, but now through Lafayette, Truckster to the inside there.
Safety car!
What for?
Devsey has spun at the start of this main straight, pit lane straight.
Yeah, he's reversing now. Oh, Herman, has there been a bit of foul play here?
I don't know. I don't hope we just witnessed our SSRL's crash gate. So yeah, I don't know if that helps Ferrari or not, but I don't think Jeffrey would do that on purpose.
But can I hate being like this, but can I just be a bit pessimistic for a second here?
Yeah, you can for 1 second. Come on.
Okay then. So okay. I'll be 5 minutes. I'm sorry. I know I said I'd be a second, but I'm going to be 5 minutes here as now we're seeing the top three go into the pits. He only got moving once the safety car was called out. Only then he got moving again. That's all I'm going to say.
I see that. Yeah, I can see that argument. It was very odd places where it was like, if you lose the car on the exit there, then it's kind of in that area where he parked up, because like you have a lot of overspeed. Energetic has jumped Bart's in the pit lane. Huge moment, and also Bart's went to the mediums, which I think is the better call because the softs are really shit here. Sorry, and Quincy to hards is also a good call. So Bart's is in a position to win this. Quincy certainly for second, I would say, because these tires are not enjoyable, especially if you use their best part behind the safety car for at least 3 laps now, because you can see how big the gaps in the field are.
Truckster is disconnected.
Yeah, I'm on that. You can go about your rant now, maybe. I'm just gonna try to.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think we've got Crashgate 2.0 here in SSRL. That to me looked very, very deliberate. There was no real sign of movement until the safety car was called. And we were just in the middle of some exciting action, and you kind of have to say, in the words of a certain driver from 2021, this race is being manipulated, man. And I think that's what they'll agree. And just to kind of get onto the point of Herman looking at Energetic, jumping second place, jumping what was the initial leader, Bards there. He is not... I don't know if that's really going to be where you want to be on the restart, because you'll have... Well, there's no DRS. Yes, you've got the source, and there's going to be extra pressure to get that right, because then you've got the slipstream down the Camel Straight. You then got to use the battery as well to keep the cars behind. Not necessarily where you want to be, so it's going to be interesting to see how Energetic holds this off, and if Bards, Drugster, and Quincy, and if Rowley can maybe make a position up as well, or he's on the slightly soft compound, and so it looks to be that Bards and Rowley in a good position, but then of course you got to look at the bottom three. And by the way, Quan got a drive-through penalty, so he's going to have to serve that as well before the end of this race. You can't serve that in a safety car because obviously it's not at racing speed. So, pardon me.
I have to correct it. That's 2. I think I noticed that correctly. Yes, 2 drive-through penalties.
Thank you very much. But yeah, no. I'd really... Oh, what? Truckster into the pit lane, Herman. What's going on?
Yeah, that's the AI. He's not on it for me. I can't invite him. And the AI correctly corrects what he's doing, because that tire is not going to be lasting. But I can't do anything about it because he's not online for me. So maybe that's a major disconnect for him. But that's probably a huge amount of his race done.
Oh, goodness me. He's on used mediums as well. He's just joined back on 8-lap used mediums, Herman.
Yeah, that's not even better. Sorry. But yeah, I'm not sure what was the... If you pick balance, you get 2 mediums. One reserved for the race, 1 in quali. Didn't use 1 in quali, so that's on the game. Because if he had a second hard, the game could have pitted him for that. Yeah. Which should have been available, because there was only 1 pit stop so far. And the hard and 1 medium are reserved from the race. So that pit stop is based on the soft tire's lifespan, which is very short on this track, but that tire it pitted to, completely wrong. There must have been either a fresh medium or fresh hard based on what he's run so far. So yeah, he just got put into a very different and very difficult spot, because maybe the game has now realized as well, oh hang on, this tire is way too used for the rest of the race, pit again, which can happen. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Unfortunately, Trugster has been robbed of what is potentially a podium finish, maybe even a win. We are still waiting for the bottom 3, which is consisting of Quan, Ibo, and Devsy. And Devsy is the reason you are seeing the first safety car of the evening. Looked like he parked it up on the start-finish straight there. And then all of a sudden, looked like it was going to be on purpose to wait for the safety car. So, we'll see what happens. But... yeah, no, Trugster's still not online as of right now, but, well, he's actually joined back in. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. My brain is lagging today, I do apologize, like Trugster's internet, so forgive me if I'm a bit slow to the punch, for the rest of this Grand Prix, but only 5 laps to go at the line, flipping heck, and now, we have got Energetic in the lead after jumping the Ferrari in the pit lane, Herman.
So my podium is Quincy, Bart's Rolly. Race Chase has the pace probably, but the time penalty is hurting him. And Trugster's in again. I'm not sure if that's now his... Is he on his own? I didn't see the message. You said something. Yeah, he's in again. So that's that's way down the order now, but probably still ahead of Devsy. So yeah, all the soft runners are gonna pretty much start to feel the pain very early on, and he's back to what is a used set of softs.
Yeah, that'll be the used set of softs.
I'm just confused. What is this now? Is that him?
Yeah, that's him. Honest. Yeah, I've remembered. It is him. He did join back in.
All right. Yeah, so I think Skidsola has a good opportunity here. 3 people with time penalties ahead.
Oh yeah.
There is a bunch of people who are going to be suffering on that soft tire. The hard is, if he can warm it up a bit, he's going to be certainly quicker. I think, for example, if Energetic overdoes it, if Nocebo overdoes it, then he can pounce on them, and maybe there's a top 6 finish here. I'm just saying. So, good opportunity. Like, we're gonna get going at the end of this lap. That's like 19, 20, 21, 22. That's 4 laps. That's enough for them to lose more on their tires. So yeah.
By the way, Quan just played the team game there, went off the line at Rivage, went off track, so he ghosted out and allowed Trugster through. So Quan really generously playing the team game there and just allowing his teammate, because he knows he's faster, doesn't really need to be held up. So Quan there, honestly, hats off to you for the team game there. But we are going to go racing at this lap. So it'll be 4 to go at the line once Energetic reaches it. Now, once the virtual safety car is called in, which, speak of the devil, is right now, Energetic has to dictate the pace, and then it will be just up to him once the safety car is in the pit lane. So we'll give it to the Honda engine of the Racing Bulls. Energetic, take it away. And on the exit of the bus stop, Energetic gets underway, and I don't know if he's done enough. He will have just done enough, but he needs to get the source right. And I don't know, it looked like he just took a bit of a shallower line, so Bards might have a better exit. And there's Quincy right there. Trugster already making a move for 12th position there. There's been an absolute kerfuffle. There's Bruiser going very slowly. Atlas Source there. And, well, gets that all done. But look at Quincy right on the back of the Ferrari of Bards. Round the outside on the Camel straight goes Quincy. And look at this. Energetic still has the lead, but they're both gaining. Ferrari lane on the brakes. Oh, there's contact between them, but they all point in the right direction for the time being. Sveta and, Eugene swapping in the background, but Quincy round the outside of Bards through Mamaldi, but then going through, Bards locks up the brakes, and Quincy is in second place, and now Quincy has got a direct look at the medium runner of Energetic, but remember, Quincy on those hard tyres, he is on the worst tyre, all things considered. Skid Solo also losing a position, and he's 2 seconds back from the pack already. But yeah, no, not been the dream start for Skid Solo, and there's been more movement for Sergeant Devsey and Sir Ribbo. They've just gone side by side, and Sergeant Devsey up to 14th place there, but Quincy losing DRS to Energetic, Herman.
Yeah, he's using that software very effectively, as he should, because these are gonna be gone soon anyway, and DRS is gonna be open at the start of next lap when we are approaching Rouge and Radion, as Truckster makes a move for 11th and passes Skid Solo, and he is onto the back of T-Brand soon, who has also dropped back from the group, who are currently inside of each other's DRS as we approach the first detection at the exit of La Source, right when you exit the pit lane. And there's a side-by-side moment with Bartz, and Quincy goes to the inside line. Is gonna give extra advantage to Energetic now in terms of travel time between these two cars, and now there's an opportunity for Quincy obviously to bounce back, as he's now the one to receive the DRS assistance, and he is very close to the back of the Ferrari, as is Rowley to the back of the McLaren. Probably 3 wide moment coming up. Ferrari to the middle, McLaren to the outside, Mercedes on the inside. Who can make it through into Lecom? Side by side with Rowley and Quincy. Quincy to the outside, that turns to the inside, and Rowley is through, makes a double overtake at the exit of Chemist Straight, and is through before we apply the brakes to Brussels. And there's also Sweater in the back, who's trying to get something off of this cake, because also Nocivo was looking like he was fancying it, Dave. What a great moment by Rowley to take it into second position.
Mika Hakkinen, take a bow. 2001 has called you up. What a move from Rowley. Like on Michael Schumacher, except Michael Schumacher was in a Ferrari in that year. But anyway, back to the present. Quincy down to third. Bartz needs to make a position ASAP, and no Sebo. What a drive from the Red Bull as of right now. Can he get a couple of more positions? It's certainly possible. Anything can happen in these final few laps, and Rowley is, well, not going to be on the soft tyre, but he's going to be on that medium. He's only got 2 laps at the line, so it's got to be a second a lap to catch to Energetic. I don't think he's got enough personally, but we'll wait and see. Let's not jump to any conclusions yet, because something can still happen in these couple of laps. We're at Spa-Francorchamps, remember. Anything that can happen will certainly happen. But here we go now. Bards has also got the DRS on Quincy as Truxton takes another fastest lap. He's just got onto the back of Tabran there. And so now we're going to see what is potentially what we saw last lap. But Quincy way too far back to really get onto the back of Rowley here. So it's going to be between Bards and Quincy for third place. And down the Camel Straight, we'll both have DRS, but of course with the Ferrari being closer, he's going to have the inside line. And there you go, Bards down the Camel Straight, gets the move done. And he's no closer to Rowley at that current moment in time. But Rowley taking a couple of tenths out of Energetic's lead. In the background, it has remained as you were. Truxton not close enough to have a go either on Tabran, so Truxton not really making much progress, and a bit of a lock-up into Rivage there for the Williams driver. We have a caution in Sector 2 for Skid Solo there, who's got it wrong out of Mameldi. And, yeah, no, it's not been the dream restart for the Kickstabbers, but still, that's 11th, that's 12th and 14th if things stay as they are right now. And here we go into La Fagna. Yeah, no, Quincy has to stay behind, but Bards doesn't look to be making any inroads on Rowley. And Rowley, well, it's going to be very close, but I think he's just going to have enough to get onto the back of Energetic on the final lap, but needs to find 6 tenths down this straight, Herman.
Yeah, I also was looking at Race Chase, who made it by on Eugene, and he was yeah, coming quite close at him and is looking to bounce on Sveda as well, so he can get that another position, because all of them have 3-second time penalty. That is very important, and he's looking to close in on him, and there's like another opportunity for sure coming up, not only into turn 1 but obviously into the Lecom chicane at the end of the Camel Straight as we approach the final lap of the race.
Well, 4 miles to go, and Truxton and Tabran side by side for 10th place. We'll cut to the battle for third in just a moment. In fact, we'll cut to it now, because Quincy is right on the back of Bards, and Rowley don't think we'll be able to do enough. Gap is still at 2 seconds at the beginning of this lap, but here we go. Bards and Quincy doing to do battle down the Camel Straight. It looks to be Quincy up to third place. What about no Sebo in the background there, as Race Chase also makes a move, and Race Chase up into up in 6th place there, as Tabran and Truxer still, Truxer on the gravel there, out of Lecom through Mameldi, but no move done so far, but Quincy having to do everything he can on this 4-mile circuit. There's only a couple of more to go now. The miles do come down quickly in these modern era of downforce cars or ground effect cars, whatever you want to call them, and now through Lavagna, but there you go, Race Chase in a good position, but Tabran and Truxer still fighting. It's 4/10 between them as well, but we are currently looking at the McLaren, because Bards will have the slipstream, he will have the ERS if he's saved up. Energetic will be your winner once they get to the start-finish line, but here we go, one last place to go. Can Bards get his first podium in SSRL, or will it be Quincy to help his championship fight? Race Chase and No Sebo are going to go side by side, but of course, remember that McLaren has a 3-second post-race penalty. Is Bards going to leave it late on the brakes into the bus stop? No, he won't, so it's going to be a win here for Energetic 6. He wins in Spa. Rowley will be second. The Ferrari has a really bad exit through the bus stop, but it doesn't matter as Race Chase takes, in the end, it's Kovacic 6 to Brown 7th, Race Chase 8th, Truxton 9th, Sveta in 10th, Eugene 11th, and then Skid Solo gets to the line in 12th in the end. Dempsey, who brought out the only safety car of the race, in 13th, and then 14th will be Suribo. 13 seconds back from the Ferrari there. There's Bruiser, who is a lap down, coming across the line now. And then Quan will round out the 16 drivers, but he is also on the lead lap, so that is why you are seeing Bruiser trying to get to the end. There we go. That was round 5, and the first comment I see in the Discord of SSRL is Jesus from Quincy.
Yeah, you can sum that up very nicely with that, and I'm surprised the tires from Energetic held on, especially with like 3 laps under the safety car to take like most all of them. So either there's something again with the game just having different conditions, or the battling behind just helped him so much that there was no gap recoverable. I noticed that Brody had like 8% of ERS when the final lap started, so that's like nothing you can work with. Energetic takes us to another different race winner and a very important charge in the midfield behind the top 2 in the constructors as well, as he was the only driver also for V-Carb. Toby is currently relocating back to his home in Austria. So a big points for them, and obviously great race from Rowley and Quincy to come back from that 5th-place grid drop after qualifying.
And just to go through, cleanest driver goes to No Sebo, so he'll automatically get your driver of the day, but the game awards it to Quincy, but I think No Sebo deserved it more. But anyway, your unofficial results: Energetic with the win, Rowley 2nd, Quincy 3rd, then from 4th to 5th is Bards and No Sebo, Kovachka, Tabran, Race Chase, Truxter, and Sveta round out your top 10, and then from 11th to 15th is Eugene, Skid Solo, Talented Devsy, Sertibo, and Quan. Then from 16th to 18th is Bruiser, ADS, and your only DNF of the race is Eminent Asian Boy. Oh no, actually there was someone else, but it was ADS, who would have been 17th. He enjoyed a retirement in the pit lane. But yeah, no, Race Chase not happy, and the safety car was absurd. That is certainly one of the comments there from the drivers. Yeah, so I think there is some controversy surrounding the safety car. I can't really blame them, Herman. It was a bit purposeful, to say the least, from what I saw from my end.
Yeah, it looked very weird. We have to say that.
And that was Quincy just saying, "What?" But yeah,
that was very weird indeed. So we have to see what there's independent to say, because the wait time between going again and there was nothing in the way and no big damage to the car as well. Look very odd from our perspective, but yeah, until that's proven what we might assume just happened here, I think Desi has to stay innocent as well.
Indeed. But anyway, of course, we'll have the podiums interviews in just a few moments' time. Let's see. We'll just wait and see, because we currently do have our winner in as of right now. But I'm just gonna give it one more minute and then we'll get underway. But yeah, it was a very thrilling race at the end, and yeah, it's been quite an evening. I've been entertained by it. I can't complain.
Yeah, no, me neither. And certainly made up for what was probably always going to be like a lot of DS training and people probably stuck in the in the dirty air in the middle sector. So yeah, obviously that first yeah fight that we saw with Race Chase and Rolly also that made it very entertaining at last. And then yeah, obviously everything got bunched up and Energetic's huge undercut made it entertaining at the front. And yeah, but you have to say it's a bit unfortunate. Led most of the race and then only P4 at the end. Must hurt a bit, but he's still kind of new. So yeah, I think there's more great things to come from him.
Absolutely. But anyway, I think we'll just get started now. We've had our minute, so let's get started with our winner. Congratulations, Energetic. What a win. That was. You had to make it late. You jumped Bards in the pit lane, and then you just hold him off for the rest of the laps. How are you feeling about that?
Feeling energetic, like my name, you know. At the beginning part of the race, I didn't think I would have won because I didn't feel pacey. But in the end, I was like on lap 5, like 6. They were like ERS saving, from what I can see, especially Quincy, because his red light just it's a normal thing on his car, I think. Then I thought, okay, Herman did 18 laps on the hards yesterday in the other division. Let's try this as well, but not 18 laps, but like 16 laps. And I knew the undercut was powerful, but I didn't know to come out right behind Bart, to be honest. And I was lining him up every time on the straight, being close to him, but yeah, I had only one opportunity. It was the lap before the safety car.
And of course, yeah, as you were saying, Tyre's strategy there tried what Herman did last night, and it worked out very well for you. You jumped a lot of places in the first pit stop, that is, and of course you had to then jump for the leader for the second safety car, for the first safety car, as we've already mentioned. But yeah, no, the win was never on for you. Did you say?
Well, no, I didn't have the pace. I thought Bart had more pace, but especially Truckster. If he didn't disconnect from the game, he would have won because he was on the softs as well after the safety car. And I think to answer your question about whether my tire lasts or not, I didn't have any choice other than go to the hards because I opted for the harder strategy. I did have one medium and I did use it already, so I needed to go for the softs and just pray that they survived. And after the safety car, they were like 3%, so that's why I thought, okay, let's push it.
And then I'm just going to bring up the driver standings real quickly just to kind of get an idea. But just on screen now, currently 5th place for the driver's standings. Quincy is currently leading the way on 68 points going into the evening. I don't quite know what the totals will be just off the top of my head after tonight. But how are you feeling about your championship? You start tonight in 5th. That win will help you out a dozen. Can you keep these results coming throughout the rest of the season?
No, I don't think so. Just because next week my work calls in, so I'm gonna miss next week. After that, it's the mystery Monza and Zandvoort. Zandvoort I really hate. Even I'm a Dutchie. The curbs are too high, too aggressive. I can't hold of it. Monza, on the other hand, I like. So maybe I'm back at Monza at the top, but going back in the history. Monza is the best track I know, but also gives me a lot of pressure making mistakes. Last seasons didn't go well for me at Monza, but I'm trying to get it positive though. And the mystery, yeah, I don't know. That's a mystery.
As is for everybody. Well, look, I'm going to hand over to Herman, but just from myself, again, congratulations on your win. Herman, take it away.
Yeah, obviously, I think the main part was after that first DS train arrived, and you were kind of about to be dropping out of that DS train. Did you basically think there was like another pit stop in there based on how the tire felt? Because like you said it, I kind of did it yesterday already, but that wasn't at a really high pace. So do you feel like you were always going to be vulnerable to people who may have stopped or then stopped later? For example, like Quincy Race Chase, who were also a bit of in the picture before they had a slight crash ahead of you. So was there any concern about the tire life when going like for that very long and early undercut?
No, not any concern. But I really thought, okay, I only thought about that you did it, and of course it's a higher pace. I'm slow, but I was like, to answer your question, no, I didn't want it to box again. I stayed out till the end if there wasn't a safety car.
Okay, okay. Yeah, obviously, questions about championship has been asked. I think one of the most important things I'm wanted to know, because we already discussed it in qualifying. Do you see yourself with now also the removal of myself and Ryan as more of a driver that is kind of placed in a top 6 maybe for the drivers when Snake also comes back, despite you obviously not really enjoying some tracks that are coming up. So what is kind of the general fear you are currently having inside of Division 2?
The top 5 may be best to achieve, I think. I'm not aiming for a championship or anything like that because I never won one. So, you know, it's easy to not expect a championship if you never won one.
Yeah, that is very true. Okay. Yeah, nothing more of questions, but congratulations on the win as well from my side, and maybe
you.
to more podiums as well in the future.
I will hope. Thank you.
Energetic, thank you for taking our questions this evening. Enjoy the rest of it, and we hope to see you next week. All right.
Till 2 weeks from me.
2 weeks, beg your pardon. All right, we'll see you in 2 weeks, Energetic. Hope you have a good week next week.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And all right, we now move on to our second place driver. It is Rolly. Welcome on in. Congratulations on second place here in SSRL. And, well, that was certainly a quiet race for you once you got past Quincy. And then it was just kind of all plain sailing. Did you even think about trying catching Energetic despite your tyre difference?
Thank you. I hoped to be able to catch him, to be honest, but after just one lap, I saw that it was not very much possible. So in the last 1.5 laps, I just tried to keep and bring it home. So energetic, I thought maybe 5 laps, 4 laps, it could possibly make his tires worn enough so that I could possibly catch, at least get into the DRS. I don't know if I would be able to pass or not. But I saw that after 2 laps, the wear was not as much as I expected. He did manage them quite well, so congratulations to him. And I didn't think that I was going to win this anyway. I also think that I got lucky a little bit with the safety car. I don't think that I was going to be in podium. Possibly, I would only be maybe 4 or 5 because I was catching up Quincy. But I'm not sure if I was going to be able to pass him. So if there was no safety car, it's going to possibly be 4 or 5 for me because I lost it in the bus stop, did a half spin. So it cost me and Race Chase, sorry to Race Chase for that because we lost the DRS. I'm not sure if he took damage. My engineer didn't tell anything about his damage, but it costs us. So if there was no safety car today, I wasn't going to be here possibly.
All right. Well, yeah, and like obviously, I think the safety car brought in a lot of contenders, and like, I don't think Quincy was on for the podium if that kept on going. So like, it brought a lot of people into contention. Now, in terms of the first part of the strategy, what was kind of the strategy going in? Was there any sort of research done, and did you have any communication with your teammate at all?
No, we did not. I just hope to have a safe one stopper. I was actually hoping to undercut a little bit because, as I told, I lost already the DRS. So the only way to possibly catch up back into the DRS train was to do an undercut. But Bart did an earlier stop than I could possibly expect. So after that point, I just tried to stay a little bit more, maybe a safety car, and then go to hard, but it didn't come. So I said I have to go in around lap 10. So after that, I was just going to drive safe and maybe catch Quincy, pass Quincy, and all I could hope was possibly P4 or 5, as I said. So the strategy was a safe one stopper, and it was going to be that way if no safety car in the end.
All right. Well, before I pass on to Herman, I just want to say from myself, congratulations on P2, and he will take over from here.
Thank you very much, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, Rolly, obviously a bit late in, but obviously your reserve role has already been quite established now. You're always taking good results, especially when people at the front kind of fall back, have weaker races or time penalties in en masse. So you kind of were in a fight for a huge train at the start, and you already alluded on what happened to you and race chairs who infected suffer some damage. So what was like your final thought when that safety car came out? Was like everything was kind of basically on the line again, a lot of people behind you with penalties, you had to recover some time as well because the front three were running as well. Like, what in terms of tires did you have as options apart from the medium you chose there?
Yeah, I had the softs, but I didn't think that softs would be a good option, to be honest. What I was hoping after the safety car was basically energetic to have a 3 seconds penalty or something, because I wasn't able to see that. But then I saw that he was safe. So after that point, there was not much to expect. I hoped, of course, to pass Quincy as quick as possible because he was on a harder set of compounds. So I actually wanted to possibly pass him in the first corner, but he managed quite well. So it took 1-2 laps. So I have to overtake both him and Bart's. Bart's was also very good today. I thought Bart's was at least going to go for P2 or P3. Also Truckster. I think the natural podium today would be Truckster, Bart's, and I don't know, maybe energetic too. But I wasn't expecting to pass Bart's as quick as I did. But I learned after that we chat with Bart's, and he said he had a higher downforce than usual. So possibly that helped that I was able to double overtake both him and Quincy. I'm not sure if I left enough space. It felt like I left minimal space to Quincy. I hope I didn't misjudge at the end of the straights. And after that, it was pretty much bring it home.
Yeah, very well executed that double overtake in reminiscent to Mika hacking all those years back. So very well move of the race.
The bike, right?
Yeah, move of the race for sure. And I have nothing to add apart from congratulations again on that very nicely executed second place. And yeah, congrats, and hopefully see you next time.
Thank you very much, Herman, and sorry for yesterday as well. Once more, hope to see you and hear you again. Cheers.
Rolly, thank you so much for taking our questions this evening. Last but most definitely not least, we have Quincy here in the podium. Of course, your championship leader still. He's just sent me the updated standings before penalties. Currently, you now have a 19-point lead. Was a bit of a tougher race this time around. Wasn't as easy as you would have liked. Maybe that 5-place grid penalty in qualifying didn't quite help. Can you just explain what happened there? If you unmute yourself.
Would help. I'm always doing this. Yeah, I was on the racing line, and ADS was also on the racing line as I was beginning my hot lap out of turn 1. I kept to the racing line just in case because we were in voice chat and I was telling him that I was approaching, so I didn't want him to suddenly go left out of the way. But then when I realised he wasn't going to react, I then reacted, and then I lost my wing, as well as getting a 5 grid penalty. That kind of threw me out of sync because I'd originally fueled to do the full qualifying on one set of inters and just increasingly increase my pace and, well, my bravery, really, just to get used to the wet conditions. So that kind of threw me off. Luckily, I got a lap in for P5, and that kind of put a fire in my belly, to be honest, because I thought I can at least probably get a P5 again if I just play it right and actually make some overtakes early on while I've still got the tyres. So Yeah, that's how I got the 5th place grid penalty.
All right, and as you said, it left you out of sync. So, when it was that second safety car, I would say was your real turning point. You made up positions quickly, and then you found yourself second, and then you found yourself fight with Bards as Rowley just stormed his way through. Was the hard tire always? Would you say the hard tire was the good call, or would you have rather done a different compound? That now that hindsight is here.
In hindsight, I probably would have gone for the softs, but in my experience on this track, I think softs aren't that great. Looking at yesterday when Energetic went on to a soft as well during the race, he had to pit quite early because they didn't really last 4, even 5 laps. So I thought there's no way, it's going to last. And I thought the safety car was going to come in a lot earlier than it did. So as soon as I went onto the hards and I saw everybody else was on a medium or a soft, I kind of knew I was in trouble. So I sort of Pleasant Snake taught me a trick about using the brake bias to warm your brakes, which would then warm your front tires. So I was doing that a lot. It did give me a little bit more damage on my fronts, but I still thought that it would have been better than not having warm front tires when it came to the restart. So it worked quite well, made up a place on Bards, which I wasn't really expecting. Tried to make up a place on Energetic, didn't really work. And then the grip that he had on the softs early on just took him out of DRS. So I was fighting for my life, really, to be honest, after that restart. Obviously, being on a slipperier tyre, I was losing time in the corners, and the guys on the mediums were just getting into sync. Rowley, I know, was quite quick on me as well with that double overtake, quite a sick move. I can't wait to see that back on the stream. But yeah, in response to him, it was enough space. It was just hard racing. I like to go to battle like that, so it's all good by me.
And then just one final question before I pass over to Herman. You, of course, lead the championship by quite a margin now. I don't know if Pleasant Snake will be back with us by next week or not, but who do you think your main rival is just going into the final 5 rounds now that we're at halfway?
I think Pleasant Snake will be back strong, to be honest, next week. And then obviously we've got a little bit of a break with the changes going to America, etc. So I still think it's Pleasant Snake's championship to lose, even though he's missed 2 races. 20 points isn't a lot, as shown in Australia when I got none. So it's just a case of trying to bring home these podiums when I can, taking the opportunity when it comes, because I really didn't think I was going to be on the podium today, because I just do not like Spa as a track to race on for myself. So I'm lucky to be here yet again, and I'll just take the points as they come and just race to have fun, because the moment you start putting too much pressure on yourself about winning championships and stuff, to me it stops becoming fun, and then it becomes a bit more of a chore. So I'm just going to keep driving to have a good time.
All right. Well, look, before I pass on to Herman, congratulations again on your win.
Thank you. 3rd place, but thank you, Dave.
3rd place. Sorry. My brain's lagged all night. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, okay, Quincy. So there was obviously a moment on the race where I felt like we were a bit asleep. I was looking at that gap to Energetico was very much in the train there, and then none of you McLaren guys pitted at that stage to cover him off. And I think we even established early on before going into the race yesterday that the undercut was going to be huge. I'm surprised you didn't react to that. In hindsight, do you think that was the wrong call to not react to that? And did you even have Energetic on the board as you kind of rival in that case?
I struggled to keep him behind me, and I'll be honest with you, you were right. I was asleep because I didn't even notice he had pit until he set the fastest lap and he was in front of me. And I was like, what? How the hell? When I saw Bards went in, I knew it was time to pit. Regardless of tyre wear or whatever, I knew it was time to pit because of the undercut and how strong it was. I'm really shocked that I didn't notice the Energetic pit, because if I did notice, then I would have pit straight away on that same lap.
Second question is obviously about how next to the championship against Snake is obviously also the Constructors' Championship. Race Chase didn't have a good race after contact with Rowley, and also time penalty made him drop back. But the kind of stand-ins have been collecting huge points for Mercedes, so they're not out despite Snake missing 2 races already. So how you think is gonna be playing in the long run? Because T-Brand also had a good race in Saudi, was hampered by disconnects today, so everything that is kind of on the line still. How do you see this playing out for the rest of the season?
I'm gonna try my best. I've been in conversations with Rage Chase. He's just had a few weeks of misery. Today especially, I know from my POV that Rowley will probably get a report against him, and he'll probably lose that podium because of the damage caused to Race Chase's car. So currently, before penalties, there's a 40-point gap to Mercedes. So we will just try and keep chipping away. But to be honest, looking at the team structure with Snake and T-Brand, they're very strong drivers, and they're very hard people to beat on their best days. So again, I'm just going to try and have fun, not worry about it too much, and hopefully things will go wrong for them.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, there's always one thing luring in the background, and that is obviously Dave's call to make a certain change to our league proceedings. So, what would be, from your perspective right now, the worst track where this could happen to you as the
The worst
championship
track
leader?
would be if I was to get pole at Hungary or high up in Hungary and then he calls a restart, then with how hard it is to overtake, I think that would be probably the worst track, but also the funniest place to do it. So
Oh
I'm
no,
dreading it, to be honest.
There's funnier. I
Yeah,
promise you.
possibly the Mystery Grand Prix or Monza. So yeah, I think for me, looking at the tracks, I think any track would be good to recover from. Bar Hungary. I think Hungary would be very difficult for someone who qualified high, just to get through the pack, etc. It wouldn't be very easy for sure.
All right. Thank you for taking my questions, and also congrats again on third place. Strong recovery from yourself, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. Take care.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Well, Herman, there you go. That wraps up yet another round in SSRL. Halfway point, Quincy with the championship to lose, in my opinion, but he believes that's with Trugster. I think that's a very interesting take, and I don't
With
know
Snake.
Snake, did he say?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, you can tell my brain's not really good. And we're not going to be live much longer, so let's wrap this up quickly so that I don't make any more mistakes. But yeah, no. So Snake, still believing it's Snake's championship to lose, but I do disagree because Quincy and Snake on very similar pace. I don't see that happening. I don't see Snake bringing that gap down.
Yeah, that would be really hard. We need like another very crazy wet Grand Prix where Snake is, because Snake was third in that Australia race and he generated the pace, maybe 3-second time penalty less, even second. So there was like a lot going on for Snake in that race that really benefited him and also showed his strong performances. But that gap is still like significantly higher than you probably would have liked anyway, and I have no idea what tracks he likes from the rest of the season. So yeah, I think Quincy's to lose, also Mercedes to lose in the constructor so far, but that can also be turned around. I think overall Race Chase and Quincy stronger pairing, especially with things like disconnects happening to G-Band more often than you would like to probably. So yeah, on to Hungary, I would say. It's going to be a huge opportunity to show some quality performances again from Race Chase. Also took a pole inside of the season so far, so maybe something to bounce back. And obviously, passing is really hard there. If he can run away with it, he's going to be in a great recovery drive. And let's see how the second part of the season is going to play out.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Herman, I just want to say a massive thank you to you for being my co-commentator again for the evening. And I look forward to having you here in Tier 2 next week as well. I'll sign off the stream. Enjoy the rest of your evening, Herman. You absolutely deserve it. I'll see you next week.
You too. See you, Dave. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, well, look, Herman giving us a very nice sign-off indeed. And just to keep you updated on the calendar, well, as you can see there, we have passed the we're on the halfway point if you're being technical, but we've certainly passed it now. We'll be back in Hungary for next week. And then the week after will be Spain, followed by our Mystery Grand Prix. But then it's a 2-week break for Quincy's trip to the USA. So we'll be back with you on the September 9th. And then finishing out the season on September 16th. Now, do remember as well, it will have Division 1 the day before Division 2. So don't necessarily think that SSRL just has Division 2. Check us out on Mondays on this channel at 7:30 p.m. BST. But until then, we wish you all the very best for the rest of your evening. From everybody at SSRL, including the drivers, the admins, and the stewards, we all say, from wherever you may be in the world, we wish you a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Stay safe, stay alive, and if you are watching on YouTube, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and hit the like button if you enjoyed tonight and want to see more. Until then, bye for now.